These kids had been missing for 3 months, and now their mom, Lorie, her new husband, Chad, and her brother, Alex, have also gone missing.
Tylee was 10 years older than JJ, but, you know, she and JJ were just so tight and absolutely adored each other. She was a great big sister to him.
It wasn't just Tylee loving JJ and protecting JJ. It was how much JJ loved her.
It's hard to think that two kids could just disappear.
We had a mission. We had to find them.
At this point, the children are missing, and police are ramping up their investigation. They exhumed Tammy Daybell's body for further analysis.
None of us knew that was happening. I believe it was done like at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Her body was taken to the coroner. He did an autopsy, and she was back and buried again, like at 9 o'clock before anybody even knew.
And it turns out she was asphyxiated. There were bruises on both her upper arms, meaning she was held down. And then the day after Tammy is exhumed, Alex Cox dies.
Alex Cox was found in Arizona, laying on his bathroom floor, unresponsive. He was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
The autopsy for Alex Cox was listed as natural causes from pulmonary embolism.
I think my dad has blood clots. I've had a blood clot before, but Alex never has. So all that is suspicious to me.
They had exhumed Tammy's body, and then Alex died. They said his death was natural. You cannot convince me of that.
The mysterious death of Alex Cox, I think we'll never know, and we will always wonder. So all of these bodies are stacking up, and JJ and Tylee are missing.
That was our total focus. We're the kids, we're the kids.
So at this moment, it's a multi-state investigation, and the FBI are involved.
The FBI and all the law enforcement together, they had a task team of like 50+ people working this. Rexburg police released it publicly about the kids missing.
Once that release went out, it was like, boom, gangbusters. Everybody was looking for those kids. Social media.
Arizona kids are missing after vanishing without a trace.
Traditional media.
Police are now investigating the couple for the disappearance of the children.
Investigators, private investigators.
What has happened to JJ and Tylee?
It seemed like this story went from off the radar to consuming the radar like that.
Kay Woodcock's been leading an effort to find the children and take action against Lorie.
Please help us find JJ. Help us find Tylee. I can't ask more, I can't beg more.
I didn't find out that the children were missing until it was coming out in the news. That they were looking for Lorie. What was going on here?
Typically, when children go missing, it is the parents who alert the police within minutes. But in this case, Lorie wasn't saying a word, and Lorie was also missing.
Police were able to use Lorie and Chad's cell phone data to figure out that they were in Hawaii.
Nate Eaton, the reporter in East Idaho News, flew to Hawaii and tracked down Lorie and Chad.
Where are your kids? No comment, Chad? Can you tell us what happened to Tammy? There's people around the country praying for your children. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
Are your children still alive? That's a simple question. Where are your children?
I've never spoken publicly before, but I did because I needed to find the kids. The kids haven't been delivered. They are standing on the beach somewhere while we're sitting here wondering where the kids are. Lori's not gonna make this easy. She's not gonna do anything unless she is absolutely forced to do it.
Police executed a search warrant at Lorie and Chad's place in Hawaii. They found no evidence that the kids had even been there. And then they give Lorie a demand.
Hi. How's it going? Kevin, Lord? He's probably concerned.
Either you produce the kids or we're going to arrest you.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
Lorie had 5 days in which to produce the kids to the judge in Rexburg, Idaho. I was sitting in my bed watching TV and my phone is blowing up. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And
Lorie was arrested in Hawaii for contempt of court for failure to produce the children.
In custody, she could not escape the spotlight. At this point, there are a lot of media in Rexburg because Lori Vallow is about to fly into town.
Welcome back, Lorie. Where are your kids? Just tell us where your kids are.
Everyone was tuned into Lori's hearings. It was really a sight to watch. She still, even at that point, was not giving up her children's whereabouts, and her demeanor and attitude was so strange. She was almost like jovial in a way.
that was just so cruel.
If Lorie is gonna risk going to jail by not just saying where the kids are, those kids are dead.
Chad was sitting to my right. I wish they would have arrested him, but they didn't have anything on Chad. We thought they had put JJ and Tylee in a compound, a cult, and they were being taken care of. We wanted to believe that the kids were still alive.
It was unbelievable. The sense of doom, it was just heightened.
Chad, why don't you just produce the kids?
Chad, where are the kids, Chad?
Chad, this could be taken care of very easily.
Where are the kids?
Chad, where are the kids?
Well, we have a goal,
All right, as long as you're rolling, I'm gonna do
so we're just gonna do our goal.
Hold on a second.
I was working with 48 hours at the time. It was really weird sitting down with Lori's mom and sister.
I have faith in her as a mother that she's doing the best she knows how for her children.
I was screaming at the TV, "You idiots, what are you like, I was so mad at my mom and Summer for going on TV to say that the kids were fine when they had no clue.
There is no way that she did anything to them.
She couldn't crack enough to do harm to her children.
The Daybells lived right across the street from where I live. Chad just always kept to himself inside of his house, and we found that maybe a little odd, but not anything out of the ordinary. On June 9th, 2020, around 8 in the morning, there's a convoy of FBI, police, SWAT team coming down the road. And I knew what was happening. They're here for Chad. They had the forensic unit pulling up, the FBI out there. They had put Chad in his own car.
While Chad was in the driveway watching the search. Chad and Lorie have a phone call, and it's recorded.
An inmate at Madison County Jail.
Hi, guys. Hello. Why'd you call? Are you okay? Oh, they're searching the property. The house right now? Yeah. They're searching to see what transpires.
You can tell that they're being very careful of what they say, knowing the phone call is recorded.
What do you want me to do? Thanks.
You can hear the concern and worry in his voice.
I love you and I'll talk to you. Okay. Okay. Love you. You're right.
I saw the FBI out there searching with the canine dogs.
Once news broke that police were raiding Chad's property, all of the media, News Nation, everybody, we were all racing out there to see what was going on.
This may be the break in the case authorities have been looking for.
Then the dogs signaled that there was something that they had found. I can see Chad in his car, and all of a sudden he speeds off and starts heading towards Rexburg. The unmarked cars turn on their lights and they start chasing after him.
There was a local person who looked like she was driving by who was able to capture Chad's arrest on her phone.
Investigators have recovered what's believed to be human remains.
This being related to the case of JJ and Tylee, could this be them?
They found pieces of Tylee, and she was dismembered and burned. They couldn't even determine her cause of death.
But it is determined that Tylee was burned and buried in Chad's yard on September 9th. The police traced Alex's phone and Chad's phone in Chad's yard those early hours on September 9th. We also have satellite footage taken before and after that shows a burial spot.
Then 50 feet from there, they found JJ. He was like under a tree right there in a little shallow grave, just like Tylee.
The last sighting of JJ also comes from Lori's iCloud account. And we now know those were the same pajamas that he was buried in.
Those kids didn't deserve that. No matter how mad or how angry or how disturbed you are, those kids didn't deserve that.
Hearing that their bodies were found, it was too traumatic for me to follow. I tried to stay away from all the details.
But at least we knew now. At least we knew.
Not only had these kids been murdered, but then they had been put in Tammy's yard for that time that she was still alive in that house. It's so awful.
The FBI, they pinged Alex right down the road the night that Tammy was killed.
My sister Summer talked to her from jail.
We would have taken them. We would have taken care of them. You could have gone on and done anything you wanted. That's what you think? I don't know what to think. None of us do. You haven't told us anything. We believed you. We stood up for you. There's nothing okay about killing children. Nothing. I don't know what to say, Lorie. I mean, you know how much I love you and Alex. Stick to my children. Do you think I let that happen? Yes, I do. That's nice.
The Lori Vallow triple murder trial. She is the mother accused of killing her 2 youngest children and her husband's former wife 4 years ago. News Nation's senior national correspondent Brian Enton has the latest.
Initially, it was thought, Elizabeth, that they would have their trials together, but the judge just a couple of weeks ago ruled that that would not be the case. Now Chad Daybell's trial will come after Lori Vallow's. Is she going to turn on her husband now that the trials are apart? Is she going to try and say, look, he brought me into this cult and he brainwashed me? It is certainly a possibility.
The defendant is charged with multiple crimes: conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft of Tylee Ryan, her daughter, of JJ Vallow, her son, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in relation to Tammy Daybell.
The defendant has pled not guilty to all of the charges.
I didn't go to the trial. I don't want to sit on Lori's side and say, oh, I'm with Lorie. So I avoided it. My family avoided it.
What was complicated was the fact that nobody put her at any of the crime scenes. All the evidence points to Alex as being the one who killed. It was not cut and dry. There was just a lot of circumstantial evidence.
The defendant will remove any obstacle in her way to get what she wants. And she wanted Chad Daybell. JJ took a lot of time and effort and energy to care for it. That time, effort, and energy took away from the defendant being with Chad Daybell and devoting her time and attention to him. When she and Alex first moved here, Alex was setting the Wi-Fi password. Nothing about Tammy's death is initially deemed to be suspicious. The defendant was in Hawaii at the time Tammy died. Money, power, and sex. That's what this case is about.
When Charles was killed, they thought that they were going to be getting his life insurance policy, although it went to Kay.
Just a couple of months before Tammy passed, Chad maxed out her life insurance.
Lorie was greedy. She and JJ were each getting a little over $1,900 a month in Social Security. She gets a check too because JJ was a minor and she was the sole living parent. Lorie was getting Tylee's Social Security from Joe Ryan's death.
Tylee's biological father, Joe Ryan, died in April of 2018. It was chalked up to natural causes due to a heart attack.
That money, I believe that is the sole reason she didn't give JJ back to us and she didn't let Tylee go live with anyone else.
If the world is going to end, why are Chad and Lorie worried about the insurance policies and the money?
The defendant and Chad used their self-proclaimed religious beliefs and teachings to justify their actions to others. Their actions from an affair to murder.
The religion, all that was just a vehicle to get them where they wanted to be, together with money and no kids, no husband for Lorie. and no wife for Chad.